This video was brought to you by Audible. Head over to audible.com/filmradar or text filmradar to 500 to get a free audiobook, 2 free Audible originals from a curated list, and a 30-day free trial. Alfonso Cuarón's film Roma has been a frontrunner for Best Film of the Year since its limited theatrical release in November and subsequent release on Netflix. It's the most critically acclaimed film of 2018, has already won numerous awards, and was recently nominated for 10 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. Written, directed, edited, produced, and shot by Alfonso Cuarón, it's largely based on his childhood memories, and is described by Alfonso as an intimate portrait of the women who raised him, in a recognition of love as a mystery that transcends space, memory, and time.
It's a film about a family, a city, and a country, but ultimately it's about humanity. I wanted to make a film that was both intimate and universal. A film that speaks to everyone.
A project he'd been trying to make for 12 years, there were always 3 key pieces of the film's DNA that Alfonso had in mind.
One was to do a film about Cleo, the real-life Cleo, that the process was going to be through memory. In other words, is to recover those moments, shooting in the actual places and the actual spaces. And the other thing was going to be in black and white.
The character of Cleo is based on Alfonso's childhood housekeeper, Libo Rodriguez. They auditioned thousands of actresses before finding Yalitza Aparicio, who only went to the audition at her sister's suggestion. A first-time actress now up for the Academy Award for Best Actress in a Leading Role, she was chosen by Alfonso because she not only physically resembled Libo, but also captured her nurturing maternal presence and conveyed a level of vulnerability that the role needed. Only a handful of actors in the film have ever appeared in other films or television. Most of the prominent cast were first-time actors chosen for similar reasons as Yalitza. Given these circumstances, to help the actors deliver their most authentic performance, Alfonso maintained complete control and secrecy over the screenplay, only giving each actor their lines and an overview of the scene on the day of shooting to mimic the way that life just happens. The film was also shot in chronological order, something rather rare for a film, to maintain this effect for the actors. Because Alfonso was after authenticity, every decision made during the production was a conscious effort to preserve that authenticity, which included returning to his hometown of Roma in Mexico City, filming on the same street where he grew up, at the school where Libo would pick him up every day, the cafe where Libo would eat on Sundays. Every location in the film was either the original place from his memory or a detailed reproduction. For one scene, that meant recreating 5 blocks of Mexico City exactly as it looked in 1970.
And that's Eugenio Caballero reproducing that cross between this street and this avenue by the inch. The same wedding dress shop, the same veterinarian that was there, the same cinema, the same pharmacy, everything identical how it was.
Decisions concerning cinematography came from this same notion of preserving authenticity. Originally intended as a job for Chivo Lubeski, a longtime collaborator of Alfonso's, when unable to take on the project, Alfonso decided to shoot the film himself.
Once that I started going through the process, I understood that it could not be a nostalgic, old-school black and white. Because if this is a film that is a look at the past from the standpoint, from the prism of the present, in a contemporary black and white, a black and white that is 65 millimeters, pristine, no grain, that is digital.
As for what exists within the frame itself, it was about presenting an objective viewpoint. It's a ghost of the present visiting the past, objectively without getting involved, just observing, not trying to make a judgment or a commentary, that everything there would be just the commentary itself. Everything that exists within the frame is a part of the story, because as stated earlier, this is the story of a family, but also of a city and of a country, a tapestry of everything surrounding that time and place and the way that those external forces guide us, for better or worse.
Our individual experiences, there are elements that we cannot control, that are completely out of our control. Our relationships of affection, those are the ones that we can control. and it's the only thing that we can control and flow through. So there is also a randomness in those affections. Not in those affections, but in those relationships. And at the end, existence is nothing but a shared experience of loneliness.
Traditionally, cinematography decisions are meant to guide the eye to whatever is most important. So by placing the camera further back and filming with a wide lens, it puts everything into focus, giving everything significance. And the choice to shoot in 65mm grants a sense of scope to the film not typically found within such an intimate story. Beyond recreating visually Mexico City as it was in Alfonso's youth, there was great care to recreate the city as a soundscape. From the sounds of birds, the bustle of traffic, the whistle of street vendors, all of which are greatly detailed within the screenplay, add another dimension to the film, bringing us deeper into this vivid reproduction of the city as Alfonso remembers it.
In this specific thing is also the sound of a city and the sound of a society. Each society, each culture, they have its own musical rhythm. And it's a musical rhythm that is not focused. You know, it's around us to create a very individual experience for the audience. The attempt was not to give answers or telegraph things for the audiences, for the audience to be participant to the experience of their own memory.
It's all about layering these cinematic tools of production design, costumes, cinematography, sound, into creating an immersive cinematic experience. That's what all films try to do, but it's rare to see a film pull it off so beautifully. It's a testament to Alfonso Cuarón's technical prowess as a filmmaker, not only to choreograph these impressive long takes that he's known for, but to take on so many roles, to tell such a personal story and create an experience that has profoundly affected so many people whose lives bear very little resemblance to Cleo's. It's a film that explores the implicit relationship between the individual and the external forces that surround us, how the politics of a time and place shape our lives in ways that we could never predict, how race and class discrimination inform our roles in society and how others perceive us. The inherent inequality present in any society where we see such privilege contrasting such adversity.
Mexico is a country in which it's impossible to go through Mexico and not to see contradictions all the time.
Yep.
You know, not to see the most amazing, beautiful places and the most beautiful expressions of generosity together with misery and atrocity.
We are all victims of circumstance, the forces that are outside of our control, but we can carve out our own narrative in the face of adversity to find some happiness between the moments of chaos. We just can't do it alone. Roma is ultimately, as Alfonso has stated, a story of humanity and how there will always be more that unites us than divides us. These are the movies that heal us, that bring us together and make us better people. Movies that show us how, despite our differences, we're all just people, stumbling through life, doing our best with what we have. And in the face of this adversity that we cannot control, we can choose to confront that chaos with violence and fear, or we can choose to approach it with love and grace. Thank you to Audible for sponsoring this video. They have an unmatched selection of audiobooks available from every genre you could want. Fantasy, sci-fi, crime, biography, self-development. You can browse by genre, check out the editor's picks, or search through recommendations. And every month members can choose 3 titles, 1 audiobook and 2 Audible originals that you won't find anywhere else. And with Audible, you own the books that you choose, so even if you cancel your membership at a later date, you'll always have access to your library. With entering the new year, I've set a lot of goals for myself. I want to keep growing this YouTube channel, I want to get healthier and be more active and just generally be living a better life in 2019 than I did last year. A book I've been listening to lately has been The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. Recommended to me by a friend, it's been really helping me to compartmentalize the things that I could normally stress over by reframing the way that I think about obstacles. Every challenge brings with it an opportunity to learn something new or to better yourself in some way, and much of philosophy aims at helping us to recontextualize what we think or what we feel to turn those obstacles into an opportunity, and I would highly recommend it to anyone who's been struggling. feeling paralyzed, or otherwise feeling like they're not in control of their own lives. You can listen to the audiobook for free right now by heading over to audible.com/filmradar or by texting FilmRadar to 500-500 and signing up for a 30-day free trial. Whether you're trying to better yourself, learn about business, or just dig into a good crime thriller, Audible makes it so you can catch up on your reading list with ease. Again, the link is audible.com/filmradar, or you can text FilmRadar to 500-500 where you'll get a free audiobook, 2 free Audible originals, and a 30-day free trial.